I mean, all you can really do is laugh at this point. Laugh at all these influencers, commentators, these, YouTuber personnel. I don't even know what to really call them. Phony hacks, whores. Like, what can you really say about them at this point? You know that they're bots. You know that they're shilling for. You know that they're complicit of certain governments or certain, organizations or companies or certain foreign entities. One starting with I, ending with is real. Fill in the blank there. When you see just how much slop is being served on social media from all these different people coming in, just this almost wave, almost like it was, planned out, almost like it's just on time, like they flipped on a switch and boom, start talking about Venezuela. Because, just a couple weeks ago, we were just discussing about, the Epstein files hopefully getting released. We were talking about all this stuff, and then boom, now Venezuela saving the people. Rah! Yeah, right on cue. Right on damn cue. And here's one of these, predominant voices. I could show you this for hours, but I just want to show you a couple here on just how ignorant, how foolish, and how just honestly laughable these people have become. So, Andrew Tate, really just showing his true colors. And I don't know, maybe the blackmail got to him. I don't know what's been happening to him recently. I know he's kind of went off the grid. He was in Romania, then he had those charges. I read up on them. I thought a lot of it was absurd based on the evidence and whatnot. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know, maybe for a plea deal, he has to do these insanity posts here where he's going to tell you the truth about Venezuela. Oh, I'm going to get the truth from Andrew Tate from Romania. Oh, the truth about Venezuela. Yeah, someone that actually has not been to that country, as opposed to, say, Max Blumenthal, who's been there numerous times, who's done, excellent reporting from Caracas, who could tell you exactly in detail about Venezuela. In fact, I would not know anything about Venezuela if it wasn't for Max Blumenthal. If it wasn't for actual journalists who been to that country. Who actually been to that country. But here's Andrew Tate, just really, really just gone off a complete cliff here with this. Watch.
Fuck Venezuela. Take all their shit. I'm against these long, prolonged boots on the ground, let's launder trillions, thousands of death, bullshit wars, Afghanistan garbage. I'm against that.
I'm against that. You remember this is the same guy that I think it was on Piers Morgan, told Piers Morgan that he was against genocide because death of children is not compassionate with Christian values. You remember that? What changed? What Christian values are you setting here when you tell, a foreign country, a sovereign nation that really had nothing to do with any of this drug trafficking or BS like that, because we all know the truth. We all could see it, obviously. What changed? Because he says that, but watch.
But I am for efficient imperialism. Send the Blackhawks.
Efficient imperialism. So what sounds like to me is that MAGA was not anti-war. They just want efficient war. They just want it to be done and over with. They don't want $1 trillion, the 20-year war of Afghanistan. They don't want, the longevated wars that George Bush and Dick Cheney. They just want it fast and quick. They want it fast and quick. Like dropping a nuclear bomb on a country and just letting it implode. I don't care who gets killed. Like, let's just do it quickly. Oh my God. What changed? What changed, Andrew Tate? Again, this is the same guy who just a short while ago told Piers Morgan that genocide is bad because killing children was against Christian values. That he didn't want to see innocent children die. Screw Venezuela. Take their resources. We need efficient war. Whatever the hell that means. Efficient war. So, let me show this again.
Fuck Venezuela. Take all their shit. I'm against these long, prolonged boots on the ground, let's launder trillions, thousands of death, bullshit wars, Afghanistan garbage. I'm against that. But I am for efficient imperialism. Send the black.
By the way, how much do you think it's going to cost Americans to pay for kidnapping a foreign leader, transferring them to the New York court system, prosecuting them, taking that money, and fixing Venezuela, freeing those people? How much do you think it's going to cost Americans? Because someone's going to be footing the bill, and it sure as hell ain't going to be Trump. It's not going to be the Democrats. It's not going to be the Republicans. It's you. You are going to pay for this. Just like you paid for Iraq. Just like you paid for Afghanistan. Just like you paid for every goddamn war.
Talks, kidnap one guy, in and out, 45 minutes, get trillions. Bro, let's take all of it. Let's take Colombia. Let's take Mexico. Let's take all of Europe. Bro, I wish America would just invade Europe. Take Greenland. What the fuck are Denmark gonna do? What the fuck are Denmark gonna do? Nothing. Take their shit, bro. Take it. Why are we leaving South America to these fucking South Americans? These fucking Mexicans. Anyone with a brain knows Mexico and below is all one big Mexico. Just a bunch of fucking Mexicans. I'm from Argentina. I'm from Colombia. I'm from Honduras. You're a bunch of Mexicans. If you saw a man from Honduras breaking into your car and you called the police, you'd be like, hey, there's a Mexican breaking into my car. They're Mexicans. Leaving it to a bunch of fucking Papacito. What are they even doing with these countries? Papacito, Shakira. They got all these countries, all this oil, and you talk to them for 5 minutes and they're just fucking dancing around. Papacito. It's fucking stupid. Take their shit, bruv. Send the army. Take their shit. Fuck these people. America should take everyone's shit while it's still capable. While there's a few white guys left, because they're the most competent. Send the Delta Force to take absolutely everybody's stuff. That's the way the world has always worked. There's no such thing as international law. There's just violence. And who has the most guns?
That, my friends, is the trailer for Hitler Youth, The Next Generation. Coming to Newsmax. Wow. Well, again, all I could say is something definitely got to him. They must have taken him to a private room and showed him, let's just say a few different angles of something and really, really scared him straight. Take everything. Take over the world. Take over the world. Take everything. Oh, why should we leave, South America for South Americans? Unbelievable. And of course, he brings out a little bit deeper when he mentions about, white people. There's only few left and they're the competent ones. I don't know if you've seen most of our white leaders. They are insidious, miserable, satanic, sociopathic warlords you can even imagine. Keir Starmer? Really? That's a competent white man to you? Mark Carney? Competent white man to you? Donald Trump? Marco Rubio? Pete Hegseth? Drunk-ass Pete Hegseth is competent to you? Wow. What the hell happened to this man? Is it his time of the month? Did I start calling him Andrew Taint? Did I start calling him that? That's what it sounds like to me. He's whiny, bitchy about everything. The international law doesn't exist. Just steal everything. But you steal Stephen Miller's script and pass it along to the next person? Steal everything. Take it. I can't. Wow. All I could say is, wow, this really makes Archie Bunker a true leftist. Because even Archie Bunker, and I know this because I grew up, my grandparents really babysat me for a lot, so I grew up obviously watching those kind of shows with them. And, there's a certain episode where Archie Bunker, it's the Christmas episode where they invite a friend of theirs to dinner. He's a draft dodger. He's up in Canada because he doesn't want to be drafted into the Vietnam War. And, everybody's getting angry at each other because he's a draft dodger. Like, why are you, going against the FBI? And, there's that moment where they realize that, well, he's doing what he thinks is right. And my kid did what he thought was right. And unfortunately, my kid that went off to war is no longer alive. That's incredible. That's incredible. Like, imagine. Anytime I've seen this, I just think, imagine if social media was around when Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Mussolini, all these insidious dictators, the USSR. Imagine social media was around at that time. Would pathetic pukes like Andrew Tate or Benny in the Closet Johnson, or any of these ridiculous, obviously closet gay men, not that there's anything wrong with that, but obviously you're hiding something. What would they say about, invasion? And it's amazing, they always complain about, the possibility that, oh my God, Vladimir Putin might take over Russia, might take over Europe. We don't want Russia to take over things. We don't want China to take over things. When was the last war China took part in? Huh? At what point did China bomb foreign countries and hijack their leaders? When was the last time China did that? When was the last time Russia did that? Please, I'm listening. Yeah, obviously, they haven't done it in a long, long time, which is probably why they're developing so quickly, which is probably why the ruble is the top currency of the world, why China is an economic powerhouse, and we have become the shitholes. You want to talk about shithole countries? Look straight in the fucking mirror. It's just, I can't even take these people seriously. And by the way, this guy is in Romania. So shut the fuck up. Honestly, shut up. You're in Romania. You're hiding out in a foreign country and you're lecturing people about what should America do to Venezuela. Shut up. You're not even in America. Shut the hell up. But honestly, they got to him. They got to him. Because I specifically remember Andrew Tate telling people that genocide was bad. So obviously something had to happen between that and this mealy-mouthed, fascist presentation you just saw there. Just take everything. Take everything. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? And he's not the only one. Because, of course, Ben Shapiro, the weasel boy himself, also chimed in on this, saying that international law does not exist. Based on Maduro's kidnapping. This is Project Constitution saying this. So Ben Shapiro, where does Israel's right to exist fit in? Exactly. If international law doesn't exist, then Palestine has every right to attack Israel. If international law doesn't exist, are you then defending the Nazis for having a concentration camp? if international law doesn't exist, doesn't that completely defeat the whole purpose, the whole reasoning behind this safe haven for the Jewish people, the greater state of it? Doesn't that just diminish all of it? You goddamn moron. I can't even believe people could spew this garbage out of their mouth. These brainless idiots spewing this garbage because, oh, that's what the State Department told me. And that's obviously right because I was told for many, many years. And why would they ever lie to us? Why would they ever lie to us? It's not like they've lied to us for 5 damn decades. It's not like we still haven't learned about, what really happened on 9/11 and lied to us about that, or lied to us at WMDs, or lied to us lied to us about Afghanistan, and lied to us every goddamn sense. Not like the government is against us when they shoot down people in Kent State or Waco, Texas, or bomb a goddamn black neighborhood in Philadelphia. Oh my God. So here, listen to this. This is what he said. Listen how garbage this is.
Now, this raises the question of legal basis. Now, I understand. There are a lot of people, there's sort of two questions when it comes to legal basis. One is the international legal basis, and one is the American domestic legal basis. Let me say up front, I do not care one iota about the supposed international basis for this sort of activity. I do not. There is no such thing as international law. It is specious, it is a lie, it is stupid.
So, the thing that they're assuming, all these people that are suddenly just, showing their true colors and saying, I don't give a damn. I don't even give a damn about international law, which just completely diminishes everything this man has ever said, ever. The guy who complains about, supporting the police and supporting law and order, that we have to have proper jurisdictions, that I don't want to see Black Lives Matter. I don't want to see peace activists on the street. I don't want to see these lefty protesters on the street. Where are the police? Where's the law and order? Where's the criminal? I don't want to hear any of that garbage now after you just said that bullshit. Oh, international law is stupid. I don't care what your opinion is. International law. International law exists so that countries like Russia or China or the United States or any other country doesn't just slaughter everyone to bits. But that's apparently what you want. That's why no one's storming into your house and locking away and transporting you to Shangri-La. But they're assuming that, I'm against, international law from the census of the UN, from the census of post-World War II. But what they don't tell you, that international law has been around beforehand. It's been around beforehand. There's different variations of international law. And that's why countries exist. That's why we have civilizations. That's why we have different culture. That's why human beings still are alive. Idiot. But this guy, this insidious bastard, this insidious goddamn weasel shit-faced bastard, saying this garbage. Not only is it completely diminishing to all the conservative points that he's ever made in his life, but it pretty much diminishes the whole context behind his support for Israel. Well, we gotta do this to save the Jewish population. Yeah, if it wasn't for international law, you wouldn't have an Israel. I guess by that statement, Hitler was in the right. I guess we need more Auschwitz. I guess we need more concentration camps. I guess the gas chambers we can be defending now, because screw international law. We should just have righteous rulers take over. We should have just domination. We should just go to a comic book supervillain world where everyone's a poor freaking peasant on their deathbed and one person rules all. God. This is again, I don't want to overuse this word. I feel it gets tossed around a lot, but this is satanic. This is satanic. What these mealy-mouthed idiots are saying. Like, there's a reason that we have international law. And for the same people that complain about other countries violating international law, now you have the moxie to say that screw international law because the United States can't do what they want to do. Shows how awfully disgusting, hypocritical, clueless you are, and freaking morons. Absolutely moronic. And you wonder why the federal government looks around and goes, why don't other countries respect us? We want to get respect in the world. You know why? Because of shit like this. Maybe don't bomb around other countries and blow up their worlds and their civilization, live and not disrupt their populations, and then bitch about why other countries hate them so much. You know, if I was in a neighborhood and one of my neighbors went around and started, attacking their houses and picking on their kids and doing destruction around the neighborhood, would I give respect for that person? No. So don't ever give me a lecture about how we need to respect America, how we need to respect people like this. Wow. How pathetic this is. Well, luckily, there are some sane people. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, who they want you to believe is the most villainous anti-Semite of the year. Because, God forbid, Tucker Carlson actually sounding the most sane out of these psychopaths. And we truly live in a satanic, demon, psychopathic world. We're the victims stuck in this hellscape. I no longer fear hell because we're living it right now. The demons are walking among us. And when I hear even Tucker Carlson, who I, disagree with sometimes on certain viewpoints, having just a little bit of common sense, having a little bit of wiggle room is like a refreshing moment. And watch Tucker Carlson completely going after Ben Shapiro, calling out what an absolute hypocrite this man is when it comes to Nicolas Maduro actually being a social conservative. Everyone calls him this, socialist communist dictator. But in Ben Shapiro's case, when he like Nicolas Maduro, being very conservative, being very, 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 right-leaning when it comes to social causes, well, listen to Tucker Carlson explain it.
Ben Shapiro was just sitting there being interviewed by Megyn Kelly and said something like, well, Tucker Carlson's, for Maduro, the communist leader of Venezuela, who I guess were on the way to killing or something, forcing out, regime changing him. And he defended Maduro. Didn't, actually. And Megyn Kelly says, well, Tucker said in his show that Maduro, most people didn't know this, whatever his many faults, I wouldn't hire him as an economist, okay? But whatever his many faults, has the most socially conservative country probably in the hemisphere. So Venezuela is just a fact. I mean, I didn't make this up. I'm not in charge of Venezuela. Just noticing that Venezuela has banned pornography, banned abortion, banned gay marriage, banned sex changes, and banned usury. You don't have credit cards with 40% interest in Venezuela. Okay. Ben Shapiro responded this way.
Tucker's made the point, I'm not going to here to be Tucker's defender, but he's made the point that Maduro is culturally conservative.
Who gives a shit? The guy's a communist dictator. Everyone in his country is eating dog. He's shipping fentanyl to the United States to kill Americans. Why do I give a shit whether he's anti-LGBTQ rights?
Who gives a shit? I do. I do. I'm not moving to Venezuela. I'm not pro Maduro. But I care about that. Why wouldn't I care about that? I've got kids. Like, first of all, I'm against abortion. Sorry, unpopular. I feel that way. I think it's really sad. I would personally become poorer to end abortion, voluntarily become poorer to end abortion in the United States. That's not a choice. Don't want to become poorer, but I would because I care about it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're offended that I do, but I care about it. Lots of people care about it. I don't think pornography is good. That really hurts people. You know, I don't think pretending that the sexes are the same is good. And you claimed that you didn't think it was good, but it turns out, quote, I don't give a shit. Maduro's against Israel. Oh, okay.
That, my friends, is a piece of that puzzle. Doug Carlson just gave a very important point there. That, Nicolas Maduro is very socially conservative. Would you think that Ben Shapiro, you think that Matt Walsh, you think all these people would be jumping on board? Like banning abortions, banning LGBTQ. They don't do drag queen story hour. You think they'd be on board with a character like Maduro? But no, he's a communist. He's a socialist. He's a leftist. Well, how does that make sense? He's a communist, socialist, leftist dictator, but he's also on the side of conservative, right-wing, factions that we agree with. Well, he's against Israel. Okay, that's it. I hate him. That's what this really comes down to. It comes down to the oil. It comes down to the minerals. It comes down to China intervening, the fact that Venezuela and China agreed to do a building partnership with their ship ports and build more canals and shipping areas. America wants to disrupt that. And it also has to do with the fact that Venezuela is against Israel. And, considering the fact that it's become more common, well, I'm not allowed to say it because, I'll be deemed an anti-Semite, but you exactly know what I'm talking about. Certain areas control a lot of areas. Yeah. And considering the fact that this new incoming Maria Machado, whatever friggin' name is, central casting lady, who looks like a telenovela star starring Heath Ledger's Joker. She's pro-Israel. She's not afraid to screech it out. And that's a big point. That's a big point. And who runs our foreign affairs right now? Well, you can put two and two together. It's not rocket scientists, folks. But it does take actual brain power for you not to cheer on like a useless chimp, like the animals, like the barbarians that you are, to cheer this on, think that, we're thumbing communism, we're saving the people. It actually takes guts. It actually takes a second of your life to really think about this clearly and understand this is the same goddamn game they played with you for the last how many years, and it's never worked out. When was the last war America ever won? Go ahead. I'll wait. So, even this lady at Fox News, and Fox News obviously has a hit on Venezuela. They definitely have a hard-on for Venezuela. Between them and Newsmax, they really, trying to amp up so much of it. They tried to use that scandal of hacking the election, rigging the election, even though that was false and absolutely not what happened. Even going back to, when Trump campaigned in his first campaign and tried to, put Juan Guaido, this guy who came from Georgetown University. Oh, yeah, he's the rightful leader of Venezuela. This semi-white brown guy from Georgetown University who really never stepped foot in Venezuela. Oh, yeah, he's obviously the leader. Obviously the leader. And that coup failed. And that coup failed because people realized what this was all about. And it's because they revealed the game to you. I mean, John Bolton went on to Fox Business Network and told you right to your face, it's about taking the oil. It's about taking the resources. It's about taking over Venezuela, screwing over the people. We don't give a damn about democracy. We don't care if they succeed. We just want to take and steal and pillage, just like we've always done. So, this lady has her head on straight, which makes me think that Fox News is not going to let any more airtime of this woman, so better show it now. This woman, Kat Timpf, is that how you say it? Timpf. Says, let me get this straight. We go into a country, we capture their leader, we bomb it, and then we say we run this country now, but that's not war? Well, when they send cocaine over here that the people are willingly snorting, that is war? That doesn't make any sense. Exactly. That's how you know this is complete crap. And this garbage propaganda of, oh, they're sending in drugs and they're killing a bunch of Americans through drugs. If that's the case, then we should be having a war against Big Pharma. There should be a seizure, a military coup against Purdue. But we're not doing that, are we? So here's what she said on Fox News. And trust me, you won't be lasting long on that network.
You have to see how some people might be feeling a little bit of whiplash here, given that Trump spent 10 years railing against U.S.-led regime change war. His own director of intelligence, as recently as 2 months ago, was railing against regime change war, and then he does one. So
is this a regime change? The regime is still there, as far as I know, the vice president.
Let me get this straight. We go to a country, we capture their leader, we bomb it, and then we say, we run this country now. And that's not war. But when they say send cocaine over here that people are willingly snorting, that is war.
I think that
doesn't make any sense.
It does.
So she making great points there. And of course, Greg Gutless here. Because it's Fox News, because you got to pay those bills. You got to reach out to those, war bucks. Well, is that regime actually changed? Because the vice president is still there. And can we go to break? Because she revealed the game. She revealed exactly the point here. We're saying that it's war. They're sending cocaine that people are snorting voluntarily. That cocaine's been around for many, many years, and it's not Venezuela's doing that. It's Mexico and the CIA. I know this because they reported it many years ago on places like 60 Minutes. All these people know about it. But they're claiming that as warfare, the means of starting a war with Venezuela. But going illegally into a sovereign nation, kidnapping their leader, and taking over their resources, taking over the country, that's not an act of war? Well, I guess we got to take all the history books now and really, really amp up the Adolf Hitler porn section there. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like we got to thank Stalin. We got to thank Mussolini right now. Oh, they're just wonderful people. Now I sound like, what's that guy? Friggin' guy who, slushes over Adolf Hitler and, taking over Poland wasn't that bad. God damn it.
To me, in the sense that if this guy is committing crimes against the United States, you lawfully go and get him. He gets his due process here. The regime is still the same. The VP's there. He wasn't he wasn't elected legitimately. So he was never considered the leader of Venezuela by anybody except for himself.
By the way, has America ever had a legitimate election? Has America ever had a legitimate election? I'm saying that because we know what happened with Bernie Sanders twice with the Democrats. They don't give a shit about that. They never gave a shit about when all the unlawfare tactics they went after Trump for. They don't give a shit about that. And why is it our duty to fix other countries' elections? Hey, you know what? I don't think the Macrons are the legitimate president and first lady, man, whatever you like to call her. Are leaders of France. Should we go over there and kidnap them? This is just it's so barbaric. It's so idiotically stupid that no human with a functioning brain cell would spew out this garbage. But freaking people like Greg Gutless here, just like Benny Johnson, just like Ben Shapiro, the Weasel, and all these mofos spewing this nonsense because they've been spoon-fed this garbage for so many years. All they have to do is do a bit of research. I know that's complicated for people. I know it's complicated to sit down and actually think maybe the U.S. is lying to me again. And it's amazing. It's amazing that, you know, they'll just hook to the next lie. They'll just hook on to the next lie. And they'll focus on, you know, the Somali fraud that's going on or California fraud. But they won't go after the Pentagon fraud. They won't go after the $21 trillion that we have yet to see. And the 7 audits that the Pentagon failed. When's Nick Shirley going to hold them accountable? Freaking idiots. But, yeah. Greg Gutless trying to cover this up. Well, can't say too much about that because this is Fox News. So I don't know how long she's going to last on there. And again, I just find it so hilarious that so many of these people claiming that we're going to bring freedom to Venezuela, not knowing that their freedom is already diminishing to nothing, and more so because of this. I don't know if people saw this. Israeli billionaire Shlomo Kramer, that is his name. New Year's resolution is to eliminate America's First Amendment. I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. So here's a foreign leader, a foreign billionaire, going after American amendments, going after the American Constitution. So, how is this not warfare? How is this not warfare? Israel, a foreign billionaire, is dictating your Constitution in America. How is this not warfare? But all the imaginary alleged crimes of fishing boats carrying drugs, smuggling drugs in. Oh yeah, that's war. You goddamn idiots. You are pathetic. You can't see this as warfare. The fact that an Israeli billionaire is telling you that your First Amendment, your freedom of speech, the liberty that Americans hold sacred and value, the reason your country exists is going to be taken away, and you don't give a damn about that, but you care about Venice. You are an idiot. You're a goddamn idiot. And watch this. He's on CNBC. He's on a business network, and they're just going to eat it up.
Network, Shlomo Kramer, also one of the founders of Checkpoint, another big cyber company. Shlomo, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How is AI, cyber warfare, shaping geopolitics right now?
So AI is going to revolutionize cyber warfare, is revolutionizing cyber warfare from critical infrastructure to the fabric of society and politics and undermining it, giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against democratic countries, First Amendment type of.
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
Again, a foreign goddamn billionaire on an American news outlet telling you that he's going to use his company and his leverage, being Israeli, to silence the First Amendment. If that isn't a state of war, I don't know what is. This is a attack on your First Amendment. And I know Ben Shapiro is gonna love that. I know Ben Shapiro's not gonna say anything about that. But where's Andrew Tate? Where's Benny Johnson? Where's all these mega MFers? You know, they care so much about freedom. They care so much about where's Gunther Eagleman? You know, where's the brass knuckles, the big long cock, the eagle face? America, F yeah. Where's this on? Where's their comment on this? Or do you want America to be hijacked by a foreign country? You goddamn idiots! It's so pathetic to watch these people shilling for war power, saying it's so fun that we're bombing Venezuela, thinking we're giving them fucking freedom. Well, this is going on. And you don't consider this an act of war? You don't consider this? Oh, but they're an ally, and if we question them, that's anti-Semitic. I don't freaking care if it's anti-Semitic. A foreign country and a foreign billionaire silencing your First Amendment, silencing you as an American, is an act of war. It's an act of war. And I'm saying that as a Canadian. And the fact, and if America can't recognize that, then holy crap, you don't know shit about your own damn country. And maybe idiots like Ben Shapiro should get the hell out of here. You hate America so much. You hate the First Amendment. You want these goddamn psychotic Zionists to take control over you and use you like a dog. Then why don't you go to the promised land, you prick? And I am so disgusted by this. And we just started 2026. I don't know what's yet to come. I don't know what's yet to come. And even watch this further. Watch how CNBC reacts to this.
Really, government are not doing this today at any rate, and enterprises are left fending for themselves.
The technology is moving much faster than the political system typically can to respond to it.
So you need to use technology in order to stabilize the political system, and you need to put adjustments that are perhaps not.
I mean, we're at a point, though,
necessary.
Right? I mean, I can go on Instagram or TikTok, and frankly, it already is becoming unclear what is fake and what is real.
Exactly.
And once you eliminate.
Right. Like when I go to TikTok and I see people like using their voice and comment, like I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I don't have any brain power left. So I just want some schmuck like you to control and dictate what I'm supposed to believe. We're what? This is not even the first week of January. And it looks like that this is worse. This is worse than, any imaginative dictatorship that they want to scare you with. I don't know how long the world's going to last if we have idiotic, whorish, influencers that are so dumb and so regarded that they don't even see what's in front of their damn faces when this is going on. I don't see America lasting. And I could say the same thing about I don't see any of these countries lasting if people don't wake the hell up and realize you're being lied to by psychotic, sociopathic demons. Forgive me if I sound like Alex Jones, but even Alex Jones is even saying stuff like this. I thought he was supposed to be Mr. D. I thought he was supposed to be calling out the globalist. I guess now I got to do it? Honestly, just an absolute goddamn joke to watch this unfold. Pathetic.